morning. Welcome to BCB Live. Drive safe, Dave. How was Thanksgiving, sir?
It was pretty good. I was overly full, overly stuffed, just like the turkey, and actually had a 1 hour nap after gorging myself on turkey.
Yeah, a lot of food, and boy, that's one thing we love about Thanksgiving, right? We get to overeat. We do it usually every day of the week, but it's like this one day we're excused. It's okay. We have the blessing. Drive safe, Dave. Somebody called me a mutant Ninja Turtle today.
Yeah, and you know what? It might stick.
What the heck?
So
you know what? I'm just trying to celebrate safety. I'm not going to go out there. I know the weather's cold, and that means that maybe I don't come in my normal outfit like some people here do.
What is,
when it comes to me, whether it's cold or what, I'm going to come fully dressed, ready to go, ready to fight the world of safety out there. If I have to do it alone, I will.
Don't worry about it, sir. Let me just tell you, we in our heart are right there with you. Don't always have to can't always judge a book by its cover. You've heard that before, right?
You know what?
Have you heard that before, sir?
We as you
in
out
here,
there,
he knows
and
in
we
here,
love what
it's
you do
like
out
solid
there.
gold right here inside. Sir, you can't
You know what that means, that solid gold that leaves that mark on you, on your skin, because it's fake. It's fake gold. It's not the same thing.
Solid
Drive
gold.
safe, Dave. Cowboys took a big loss
I'm not even
yesterday.
talking about. We're not talking about that.
I'm okay with it, though. I mean, they've lost their team. A lot of their folks, they're key players, right? They're true talent. Unlike you and I, we're just the only talent available. We're like the talent on the Detroit Lions. It's just two players that's on the team.
They lost
But
at a
they
last second field.
It's okay, but they lost their receivers still. They're without a lot of talent. Man, just some controversial calls, some bad defense, and they'll be okay, though.
And a fight.
I'm just not. It doesn't bother me.
What?
I don't feel like they're going to go down or anything like that.
You know what? I just don't like a loss, and I don't like I don't like a loss at home, and I don't like a loss. I just don't like it.
Sometimes you get used to losing, though, and when you surround yourself with folks that never mind. We're not going to go. It's Thanksgiving week, and we're not going to go. This is going to be. I've got to get back. Hold on a second. I've almost lost focus that I am now, and if you missed the show yesterday, we discussed motivational speaking and how that's become kind of my new
go back
thing.
to this?
Because I started catching myself, and I said, that's not what motivational speakers do. We bring people up, we motivate, and we want to motivate you to do the right thing, to get out and look, to drive accident free, to stay focused on those roads ahead of you, right? Make sure you have plenty of distance. Count out loud.
First of all, could I just say, by the way, just so you understand something, and I get that on safety, we're going back to this motivational thing. You know that the whip is considered a motivational tool, right? You understand that,
Agree.
right?
Agree.
And that's not exactly defined as what a motivational speaker is. It's not. I'm just telling you.
But let me say this.
The whip.
There are a lot of sensitive people out there. Most of you know that, when you need something, you come to Sir Rick. When you need somebody to hear and you need a hug, that's what Sir Rick is for. And I've just taken that up another notch and said, you know what? By doing this, I'm going to go ahead and build people up. And wow, what a magical scene that's happened here. We've seen just some outstanding numbers as I continue to build and build and build and build.
Yes, okay.
Hey, drive safe, Dave. Let's just jump into it.
Come on.
Do you know much about the new variant? They call it a variant, or is it a concern?
They don't even have a name
They don't
for it.
know what it is yet.
They don't have a name
But it's
for
coming
it.
out of South Africa. But I'll tell you what it did, and we'll just kind of see if we can hop into it real fast or not. Let's just take a look here. If we talk about the that variant, what it did to the stock market. We look live right now. Futures right now, 769 down.
800, almost 800
Almost
points.
800. It's not 800. It's 769. Let's refresh this, just in case.
Wow.
769 is the number. So we do see it affecting everybody. Drive safe, Dave. So you can say it's not a name, but that's almost that's a 2.15% decrease in the futures. Any concern with that?
I think
time
the market.
To buy or sell?
I think it's time to buy because I think the market will bounce back on Monday.
Hey, we have no expertise in this, so he's just saying that he had a 50-50 chance on this right now.
No
but it really
advice.
is.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going with it.
At all. But we see that at 34,000, just a little under 35,000. And then we can kind of just jump into the market as well as what we see. So here we have right now Some of the largest markets in America, Ontario, LA area, Atlanta, Harrisburg, LA, Dallas, Jersey. We see a huge, huge decrease in outbound volume. Massive decrease. I'm talking 17% decrease in volume. And Drive Safe Dave, I just want to make sure everybody knows that it has nothing to do with the stock market, right? Nothing to do. It has to do with a thing called Thanksgiving. It's a holiday week, and when holidays happen,
they always crash.
Guess what? Nobody's open. We see it all the time, but Drive Safe Dave, right here, we come in at 16,000, just a little under 16,000. We start today at 12,829. Massive drop in freight. But what I want y'all to see is this, is we can go back and we can say, okay, well, what typically happens? And we can look here in the last few years. You can see even last year, volume significantly up, drops down. This year, drops down. Every year it's going to drop down during Thanksgiving. Nobody's open. And next week, though, we should see some big increases. And if we look forward a little bit, let's just look forward and see what happened last year. Last year we came down in the green and we shot back up, not quite as high as what we were. So we expect to jump up in that 15,000 mark this year. You know, just maybe 14.9, 14.8, but very, very heavy on the volume. Freight's going to start moving out massive next week, and it starts for a lot of people today.
Yeah, you got a chance. You know, the big push for the season actually begins on Cyber. Today's Black Friday. Cyber Monday comes following Monday. You're going to see a lot of sales. You're going to see a lot of purchases and online orders, both inside and out. And we just hope that the shelves have enough on them in order to get out there and make packages move.
Yeah, we got, we're going to continue to make sure that we're doing our part as well. And that means make sure, and we're going to just make sure that you know that we've got to still continue to mask up when we can, to wear the gloves, to watch those crowds. When you're outside that bubble, pay special attention. Pay special attention to who you're with, and just make sure that you're doing your part. Drive safe. We've got to stay healthy as we continue to march through. And God forbid, man. Producer, what's your thoughts on the new COVID variant out there in South Africa?
I think it's hype right now. I mean, they were all worried about Delta, and then I don't know. Didn't really
Killed a lot of people.
You don't think Delta?
Whoa! The Delta variant actually raced through this country and killed.
They had another one.
Tens of thousands.
Do you remember Mew? I mean, like they just. If
this
you're honest,
is like the harder version. The other producer we have, he is a softer, more
sensitive.
Yes, more progressive person.
BCB Live Uncensored.
We got both sides of it right here. Hey, we encourage you to stick with us. We're going to jump into some more news and safety on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Rick Larkin here, host of BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. If you don't already know about Freight and Review, it's a segment I cover once a week where I analyze freight rejections, freight tenders, driver productivity, and much, much more. You can watch Freight and Review on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
All right. Well, that was a great transition. Welcome back to BCB
So is it going to be the
Live.
Epsilon? Are we going to go with Epsilon? Are we going to go with the Epsilon variant? What are we going with today?
Theta, Nu, Xi, Omicron, Pi.
Theta, Pi. We're going to go with Pi. Pi variant.
Hey, drive
Yeah, I got
safety.
the Pi variant yesterday.
I had several Pi variants.
I did as well, and that's I didn't eat a lot of the meat, but I tell you, I start and we had a draft on Wednesday of Thanksgiving food, and I did exactly what I didn't really think about that, but I did it. I started eating my breads. I ate my desserts first. I made sure I had all the rooms, and then I touched some of that, the turkey and everything. But I get everything else first to make sure I get that fattening stuff inside the system.
I had 2 plates in front of me. I had my food plate, and then I had my dessert plate. So it had about 9 different dessert items on there. So I did a bad thing, and what's sad is I finished both plates.
Yeah, and let's talk about some bad habits that Thanksgiving does create, or so you just leave the food out. Everybody eats so much, nobody puts it up. And then everybody just keeps going back and snacking and snacking and snacking. Hey, just pack it up and get rid of it. That would be half of it, because you catch yourself getting another piece of pie, even though you're completely full.
Oh.
I'm talking, you can't do anything. You're done. And yet you still make room for that extra, some more dip, some of that corn, whatever, mac and cheese, anything that's unhealthy. You don't have room at that point for the green bean casserole. That's halfway healthy. You don't make room for that. It's all that pecan pie. Is it pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
I do pecan too, but we have a lot of listeners here that say pecan, and I tend to go where the people go. That's just the way I am. Hey, drive safe, Dave.
State tree of Texas.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. It's a pecan pie.
It's a pecan tree is the state tree of Texas.
Hey, let's here's what we do want to, we do have a few minutes open today. I know it's Friday. We're going to give away the phrase that pays. If you have any comments, talk to us a little bit about your Thanksgiving. What made your day? What made it? Was it the family? Let me tell you, we had a lot of people over. So a good size, we probably had 20 people maybe at the house, it seemed like.
Wow. That's a lot.
And it lasted for a while.
We had, I think we had 52 at my uncle's.
Goodness sakes.
We had 52 people.
Dude, they're COVID.
It's
how many of y'all?
All old people. Every one of them an old person. I don't think there were 2 small children.
All right, so story real quick. So my brother brings his girlfriend over, or brings his girlfriend's parents over. All right, and I'm going to ask if you have this same, because I'm envisioning the parents coming over, but for some reason, drive safe, Dave, I'm envisioning they're going to be my age. Because I still struggle with that part, and obviously they're not, because my brother's not that much younger than I am. His girlfriend's same age as he. They're probably older, and I sometimes still forget, because I know I look like I'm 30, 33, 34 years old.
Wow.
I expect. But do you ever have that struggle with the age part where you just sometimes you don't realize that, like, the people that work at the office with you, that you're as old as their parents, or sometimes maybe even grandparents?
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't
I
that
know.
crazy?
Absolutely realize I'm as old as people's parents. They even say what year they were born. I'm older than their parents. They're like, I'm like, yeah, no, they graduated high school 10 years after me. Your parents did.
It's insane. I mean, I graduated in 1988, and I, there's people here that weren't born at that time. I think, my goodness, I remember hiring people. I remember hiring people years ago, and I always look for people that had the same birthday as me, or around the same year, 1969. That was what I looked for, because if I saw you were born in 74, 75, you weren't going to be old enough to drive. And this is when we were driving the cargo vans. I really wasn't worried about you, because you were too young. You had to be 21. And now, try to say, Dave,
50s.
if you were born in 69, you're probably 52 years old. It's like, my goodness. I mean, what happened to time?
It is inevitable. It catches us all. But when I was sitting there, and I was looking at my cousin, who is
what the. Where are you? What? Where are you from? Are you from?
We were talking, and he's from. No.
What?
He's
This is only getting worse. All right.
He's as old as I am. We're the same age, and he was sitting there with his children, and they had their children, and I'm sitting there going, their grandchildren, and I'm thinking, okay, my cousin is exactly the same age as I am, and his grandchildren were there, and I'm like, crap. Yes, we are the old people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's face it. I've got grandchildren as old as people's kids here that work here. And I'm like, yeah, because when I walk by Drive Safe, I don't see myself as the old dude, but obviously I am, because like I can look at you, and I'm not trying to offend you or anything.
What
but
does
I can
that
look,
mean?
and I can say, like, yeah, you know, there's no doubt you're an older guy. There's no doubt. And I wonder, in the eyes of others, do I look the same? Let me go straight to you, producer. Do I look as old as Drive Safe Dave?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, wow. You're okay.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. No, and besides,
You're not as old as I am. So good job, Rick. Wow, that's not real hard to do. Wow. Good job, Sir Rick. He's a good job. He's not as old as I am, so it's shocking that you don't look as old as me.
Hey, we're coming back in 60 seconds with more BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hi, this is David Dover,
also
also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
You got to be prepared to stop, and when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live.
And Drive Safe Dave. I mean, come on. I hope we all know the phrase that pays. We know the phrase that pays.
I mean, as a group.
Oh man, I heard you just say I'm not prepared. I'm not
I didn't
ready.
say that. I
do
said,
we even know it?
Do we as a group? Do we as a team?
I think we do know that phrase that pays, but we're not going to show it yet. It's not quite that time. But hey, Drive Safe Dave. Let's talk a little safety. Talk to us about as we get into the holidays. I mean, still a lot of people not working today, but we expect to see traffic as we go back out to the brick and mortar, right? We're going to go do some shopping. And before you answer that question, let me say this, is that studies did come out and say that the UPS is the FedEx, the post office. They expect to handle the more of the freight better this year. They said they will handle the freight better this year than they did last year. You know why?
I have no idea why.
The answer was this, and they all said the same. It's not even close, as they said that because people can't get it online, they are now going to the stores and ordering the freight, picking up their own merchandise this year because they're not going to get it otherwise. So you're seeing a big decrease in not over last year, don't get me wrong, but from those projections that they sent out in September, they do not expect it to be even close to that, significantly under that, as people say, I'm not going to get it. I'll go to the store.
Wow, and that may play into a little bit of, because I was under the impression after I'd spoken to several people in the industry, and they said this is the first year they are not capping the purchases out of some of their biggest customers. So they anticipate that it's going to be, they can buy all the way up until they're going to be able to buy all the way up until the Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so the issue isn't being able to order it now, it's being able to get it.
Right.
And so they're saying that a lot of people are going to the stores, and that kind of goes into the stories that, hey, understand that we really do believe there'll be more people on the roads this year than we really anticipated as stores are opening again for Black Friday. Lots of sales out there. 1.75, don't forget, that's my bottle size of choice if you're out shopping. But they are.
2XL T.
T for thin. It's a thin 2XL.
For tall.
But Drive Safe. Let's talk traffic.
Okay.
Talk.
Let's talk. Oh, I'll tell you,
Wow.
you're going to experience this year. You're going to experience as you go out there. You're going to go into these areas, and what's going to happen is there's going to be stoppages, traffic, places where you don't normally have stoppages because they're going to be going to the mall. You'll be going down the freeway. You expect when you go down the freeway, it goes 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, but they're going to be stopping, trying to get off the road, trying to get on the road. You're going to have a lot of people out shopping, a lot of people out there doing what they don't normally do, trying to find their way around, being somewhat distracted as they're on their cell phone. And I can tell you it's going to offer some very difficult moments out there on the road. Now, I will tell you on tomorrow and Sunday, a lot of people will be returning back, and I anticipate traffic to be very congested out there on the urban areas away from the big cities, more than you would normally believe, especially on Sunday.
Yeah, coming back home is what it's referring to. Listen, we celebrated together for the first time in a couple of years as a country. Expect that traffic to be bad. You know what? I'm just going to ask you and beg you to really count out loud today. You know, pack your patience times 3 bags. Have an extra one right here on your right side because you're going to need it today. Don't try to force the situation. Try to make sure that you're going to get to where you need to safely. Allow the passage of others to get there safe as well. You know, the merging, pay special attention to that on the highway. The merging at construction zones, pay attention to that. You know they're coming up. I don't think drive safe that for whatever reason that the four-wheelers, us that don't drive for a living, sometimes we just don't understand what that orange means. We don't understand the triangles out there that says construction ahead, merge now. We forget what now means.
Not doesn't forget it, just not going to abide by it.
I just don't think we pay attention to it.
Nah,
you know, we got plenty of time. There's 8 trucks up there. I can squeeze in front of one of them.
Yeah, in fact, it's not that I have plenty of time. I'm not going to do it. I've got to get as far up there as I possibly can so that I can be at least 30 seconds in front of where I am right now. 30 seconds or whatever. You're not gaining anything. You don't do anything. And you're going to have those moments where people just are being a little selfish out there on the road.
Yeah, the old saying, too, goes that, hey, that truck you just passed, that's got the freight you're looking for in it. Your washer and dryer's on that truck you just passed, so give it some time. As a matter of fact, open up your hearts, open up your patience, four-wheelers, and let them in, because the quicker they get there, the better the odds that when you go shopping, your product may be stocked.
Yeah, you don't, and you know what? Being out there, it doesn't matter whether you're a four-wheeler, a truck driver, or anybody else out there on the road. Remember, one of the key points to safety is courtesy. And if you can be courteous and allow for others to do what they need to do, you're going to be safe as well in the interim. And make sure that we extend that holiday spirit out there on the road, because we want everybody to get home safely.
Yeah, holiday spirit, that's going to mean, you know, it's time for you it's after Thanksgiving, so maybe it's time.
Play a little music.
Play a little Thanksgiving music as we get
Christmas music.
So Kerry Mobley said it snowed this morning on I-68 at the Maryland-West Virginia line. So already starting to get that seasonal weather.
Ooh, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season, and make sure that you stay safe out there for certain.
Going up through the Cumberland Gap, are you, Kerry?
Yeah. The what's that? The north side of the Mason-Dixon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Much further north. It's just south of Pennsylvania.
Hey, what's your go-to Christmas song? Does it change, or is it the same year to year?
You know what? It's kind of developed. It used to be Bing Crosby, and I think I've got a little bit of what's her name that does the song? I can't
get no satisfaction.
That's not.
I can't live without you.
Mariah Carey. What's the one she sings?
Yeah. All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah, I kind of moved into that one as one of my favorites, but it used to be old school stuff, and even some Nat King Cole.
Well, that All I Want for it's not exactly a new song.
Her rendition of it, sir,
just come out. You really, me. I'm Oh Holy Night. That's a great song. You know, it can be by anybody. It's an amazing song. Love that song. Love, I like the that every once in a while you'll get that a cappella groups out there. Pentatonics or whatever they're called. They have a lot of a cappella, great Christmas songs. I like that too.
It's awesome.
You know what? You can make music with your mouth. You realize that, right?
It's called singing. How else do you sing without your mouth? With what?
You can hum. Let's sing Let's sing your favorite. Let's sing Mariah Carey.
I don't do Mariah Carey. I don't sing it, but I enjoy listening.
Baby, all I want for Christmas is you. Come on.
I'm out.
Hey, we're only one of us was prepared today, and since the other one's
I'm not
not
prepared to
saying
sing
names.
Mariah Carey that you asked me. Come on. What are you doing? Why are you asking me to sing Mariah Carey this morning?
You know what? We're going to come back with a little bit of phrase that pays time. So we're going to take about a 1.5-minute break. Be back with you with a little bit more BCB Live post Thanksgiving Day. If you have any dedications, if you need to be, you know what? Maybe you just need to be motivated today. You need to hear some Sir Rick motivation. If you so, let us know. Let us know what that is. And we, too, can get you motivated. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected.
News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong.
Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety.
One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the #1 thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
You got to be prepared to stop, and when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today. Hi, this is David.
BCB Live. Welcome back to BCB Live. You know what? We have a new producer, and it's kind of messing up. Wouldn't you say that's affected the way that you're performing Drive Safe?
I would say that my key is a little not turning as well in the slot this morning. It is jiggling. You know how sometimes you got to jiggle the key right before it'll open up?
I get it.
Yes. Yeah, that's what's happening today. We're having to jiggle the key a little bit too much this morning to make the door open up.
So many things we can do, but some things we can't do is just control that back there. Like right now when I'm showing you instead of showing the one that's talking right now. It's, and it does. It's like, God, I thought I was talking. You'd think I would be on the camera right now.
A little key to success there.
And then we get some of these weird camera views where all of a sudden
we're bouncing back.
Switches it around. I'm like, come on.
That's all right. You know what? It takes my heart's in a little bit more forgiving spirit today after Thanksgiving. I looked back yesterday and I appreciated what I have, and I understood that I am truly blessed today. And there are moments that today, early, that I'm going to appreciate everybody for who they are. At about 9:30, I'll be done.
And I'm going to tell you, for me, I'm going to go along with that. To me, while it wasn't more of a thing, it did give me the opportunity to realize that he just needs a little bit of motivation. And there'll be some motivation right after the show. It's just what we do here at BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave, let's queue up some callers because we have got to give away some cash. Some cold, hard cash.
I'm excited.
On BCB Live for that phrase that pays. Give me a caller.
All right. Let's see. Let me scramble it real quick.
They all know you don't scramble. Just pick a name.
John Float.
John Plody, our safety director. Our safety director.
Maintenance director.
I'm sorry, maintenance director, John Plody.
Hey, at least he's on. I'm excited that he's listening.
Yeah, but I just saw him walk by, so he's not even at his desk.
All right, Lincoln Jackson.
I like Lincoln.
There we go, Lincoln Jackson.
Did you unmute Lincoln?
I did.
Lincoln,
and can we hear Lincoln if he were talking?
He's self-muted right now, it says.
So make yourself
right.
green, Lincoln.
Lincoln, if you can make yourself green, we'll give you an extra 3
4,
seconds.
3, 2.
All right, Lincoln.
1.
You gone. Time for another one. Give me somebody else. Come on now.
Bob Bumpus.
Okay, Bob. What do you got, Mr. Bumpus?
Hope he wasn't going to say Sobiek.
Bob, can you make yourself green and give us the phrase that pays for cash money today?
I think I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Thanksgiving is my seasoning for safety.
All right.
That, my friend, is, you know what?
$100.
Is it 100 or is it 200?
$100.
Well, we're going to go 200 because it's Thanksgiving. $200 to Bob. Make sure we get an email sent out to Bob for listening and for saying that phrase that pays. And what a great phrase that pays. One of the best we've ever had here, no doubt about it. Hey, Bob, can you tell us what that means to you?
Well, I had to think about it because, that guy sitting there next to you, he kind of made it up on the spur of the moment the other day. But I think, Thanksgiving is a great day. It's a great day to praise the Lord. But safety is something we do every day. Or should do every day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Bob. And you know what? And part of the thing, the genius part behind, I think, this phrase was the seasoning, right? We got to season safety all over this world. It's what we do. And one of the top two phrase that pays. Hold on, sir. I know the camera's on me right now, so I'm talking. That's what it's all about. We've got to season those folks. Give them a little bit of safety on them potatoes, a little bit of safety on how they're driving. Make that food just a little bit better. It's all about safety. BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We'll see you in 60 seconds.
He's taking me out. He wasn't going to let me get in.
Hey, welcome to the Safety Show this morning on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got Double Check Dale here and a new producer behind the controls, and man, he's having a tough morning of it. Has a tough act to follow today. Hey, let's jump in and take a look at some traffic throughout the country. Wow, you can tell today after Thanksgiving there is not a lot of traffic going on. If you look at the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I really don't think I can find a trouble spot there. So enjoy the ride in Dallas-Fort Worth this morning, wide open. Next city. We're up into Kansas City. Kansas City's actually got more slowdowns than Dallas-Fort Worth does, and it's probably on the 169. Just before you get into the downtown area, you're going to see some slowdowns there, and then a little bit on the 670 or 70 through the downtown area of Kansas City is where your trouble spots are this morning. But nothing major there. Everything else in Kansas City looks really good this morning. Chicago, you almost want to check to see if that's correct because there are, even the downtown area, 294 inside the loop in Chicago, just nothing going on there. So, Chicago, if you're driving about out there, you're going to have some really nice wide open roads according to this. Everything in Chicago looks wide open this morning. Atlanta. Same story, it's that day after Thanksgiving, not a lot of people going to work or a lot of transportation going on out there. And so Atlanta looks wide open. The 285 loop is wide open, north and south, 20 all the way through town, with the exception of a little bit in the downtown area. But, if you're in a commercial motor vehicle, unless you're delivering to downtown or inside the loop, you should not be inside the loop. So Atlanta looked really good this morning. Philadelphia, normally we have so much red there that we can't see anything else, but Philadelphia, a few spots of orange and red, but no major slowdowns. A little bit down in Marcus Hook, there looks like to be a slowdown on 495. Jump over the New Jersey side, looks pretty wide open up there too. So, traffic this morning looks decent everywhere we've been. Nashville, no traffic going on there, just very little, just not a lot of reds, oranges, slowdowns in anywhere this morning. So if you're Nashville, D.C. looks the same way. I mean, Washington, D.C. looks very wide open. Go up to Baltimore. No major tie-ups or concerns in the Baltimore area, so enjoy the ride this morning. Got anybody else? Should be one more. You got Indianapolis. Nothing going on out there. So traffic-wise, guys and girls and professional drivers, looks like you're going to have a really nice commute or a really nice early morning drive today. Let's switch over to some weather and see what we got going on weather-wise. Currently, we are looking at the wind gusts. And the wind gusts, the usual places are this time of year, you're going to see mostly up in Colorado, Front Range, and into Wyoming, I-80 around the Elk Mountain Range. And then the other area we're starting to see some winds build up is out toward the east in North Carolina, Tennessee border, up through West Virginia, parts of Virginia into Pennsylvania. And then up into New York, we're starting to see some winds, and I know we'll see some snow or some precipitation out there also. As we go to this afternoon, the winds seem to start to intensify a little bit more out in Wyoming. They're starting to spread out a little bit, but so if you're on 80 or 25 in Wyoming, you might want to make sure if you're loaded light that you slow down and take that into consideration. And then the winds out east, really up into Pennsylvania, the West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, especially around the lakes area. Lots of wind going on out there this afternoon. No wind warnings, but they're starting to pick up, so be aware of your situation and what's going on around you. Overnight, they die down a little bit out east, and then through Wyoming just a little bit. The area shrinks down a little bit, but again, if you're on 80 going across Wyoming this evening, be aware of the wind situation out there. And then, like I said, the winds out east, upstate Pennsylvania, lower New York, that's where you're going to see some winds out east. And then tomorrow morning for Saturday, the winds really die down out west, and so you're looking really good. They do shift a little bit to the west, so if you're in South Dakota, northern Nebraska to South North Dakota, may see some winds out there. And the winds out east have shifted up to the northeast, and so if you're in Vermont, New Hampshire, parts of Maine, we'll see some pretty high winds tomorrow. If we go over to our precipitation, see what's going on precipitation-wise, right now, Pacific Northwest is seeing some rain along the coast, Oregon coast and up into Seattle, and then they're seeing some snow in the higher elevation. Major thing to look out for or watch for currently out east, we're starting to see some snow, quite a bit of snow predicted and happening out there. West Virginia up through Pennsylvania, and then up into New York, we're starting to see some snow, and then a band of showers has caught the Atlantic seacoast, South Carolina, North Carolina, up through Virginia Beach, and then up into Massachusetts, New Hampshire. So it's going to be wet up there. And so we've got some precipitation to look out for. Like I said, the snow is probably in the higher elevations in West Virginia, although there is some snow in central Ohio. By this afternoon, still some snow in the higher elevations out in Idaho. Precipitation in Oregon's died down a little bit, moved inland a little bit, but the snow up in the northeast. So it's really a lot of lake effect snow right in Pennsylvania and New York is where you're seeing most of it, and then up into Vermont and New Hampshire, you're starting to see some snow there also, and then northern Maine. This afternoon or tomorrow overnight into tomorrow morning. By tomorrow morning, the snow has really died down out west, but we have a band of snow showers through northern North Dakota, central North Dakota, central Minnesota. Still seeing the lake effect snow up in New York, and then Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine is getting some snow tomorrow. So, that looks like our weather for today, and so let's take a short break.
Hold on before we do that. We have Kerry Mobley at his hand raised, so let me go ahead and unmute him.
Morning, Jerry.
Self-muted. Give it a second. Self-muted, Kerry. All right. Well, if that's the case, we'll just go into a break.
All right, take a short break here.
Larkin here, host of BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. If you don't already know about Freight and Review, it's a segment I cover once a week where I analyze freight rejections, freight tenders, driver productivity, and much, much more. You can watch Freight and Review on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live. You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected.
News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong.
Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Great weather forecast. Good job up there. I love the blue as well. That is, where'd you get that?
Well, BCB, out of the storage room.
Wow, looks good.
Yeah, the weather and the traffic were both really good this morning.
So joining us today on BCB Live is BCB Transport's own meteorologist and safety guru, Dale Kellen. Dale, I'm glad you're stepping in here for Buckle Up, Bob. Sometimes we have to reach out and grab those from other trucking companies, and we're blessed to have you so close to where you can come in and talk a little bit of safety. What are you cooking on for today?
We're cooking on deer. We're cooking on deer strikes.
Yes.
So, yeah. And so what it's going to do is just review the top 10 states where deer strikes are most prevalent, and West Virginia leads the way. West Virginia's first, Montana second, Pennsylvania third, South Dakota is fourth, and Iowa is fifth. It's interesting. Mississippi is in the top 10. They actually have the most deer per square mile, but they're ninth rated for deer strikes. And so, just because you have the most doesn't mean you're going to hit the most.
Yeah, they're just better educated deer in Mississippi than
and
West
that goes
Virginia.
to a lot of, right? I mean, we've got to continue to educate our people, the deer as well, onto what happens on the highways. You lose aunt and uncles on that highway, deer, so stay out.
And antlers.
And antlers, too. And you hurt some trucks. You know what? Your distant cousin, the old Peterbilt, the old Volvo, the KW, you're hurting it. Take it easy on the truck. Stay out of the highway. You know, we have, where they do have the crosswalks at, hey, use them, right? Use them and make sure you push the button first before you cross the highway.
You know, it's interesting. You know, Minnesota, and I drove Minnesota a lot. It doesn't make the top, or it is the 10th state. Along Interstate 90, they've got a lot of high deer fences. And you talk about the crosswalks. They put the crosswalks underneath the interstate up there for the deer and the animal to get underneath there. So, I mean, states are doing a lot to do that, a lot with the reflectors along the side of the road also. One of the things I don't know if I've talked about it yet is the deer whistles. There's no evidence or proof that those deer whistles actually work. So, I mean, if you got them, you believe in them, you can use them, but there's no scientific evidence that they're working. So.
Well, what a great place to set up a deer blind when they have the crosswalks underneath the highway for the deer.
Yes,
right? I mean, what a
sure.
great place to set up a deer blind.
That's all right. We put them up where they eat. So, I mean, might as well.
Is there any difference? What's the difference? There is none. It's cheating is what that is.
Hunting.
It's
hunting.
Yeah, like they did back in the old days.
Yeah. Wow.
We got any videos?
Oh, we do have some videos. I've got 4 videos this morning.
All right, video number 1. Here we go.
Which one are we going with first?
Whatever one you
hit
go.
one up. We'll make a decision.
Those are conversations that happen,
Early.
previous day.
Okay. Stop sign. Stop always means stop. It's the law. I mean, it's like Drive Safe Dave says, it's not there for a suggestion. It is the law. We have to stop for it. We have to stop for it whether anybody's around or if there's traffic around because, we got to stop, take that look. We got to be safe. We have to protect lives out there. We don't want to miss, get in a hurry and miss where we glance to the left or to the right and there's somebody coming that we don't catch.
Yeah, we don't want to stop-ish. We want to stop.
That is not stop-ish. This is stop-ish. This is not stopping. And this is, you got to. That is, and you must stop behind the stop sign.
But there's nobody coming down there. I mean, it's an easy one to roll. There's nobody coming the other way. Drive safe. I'm going to say it's okay. There's nobody coming. What difference does it make?
The difference is you might have an accident, and guess what? We were at fault this year already with an accident involved in a stop sign where we did not come to a complete stop and thought we were clear. And I'm telling you right now.
So just because you're telling me, I don't know if I understand this. You're saying that just because there's no traffic, there's nothing there, if the light's red, if there's a stop sign, I still have to stop?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You still have to obey the speed limit, and you still have to slow down in school zones. Let me bring some of the rules to you as they apply to you out there on the road. And the stop sign is a requirement to come to a complete stop.
Not a recommendation.
Not a recommendation. It's not a suggestion.
Starting to make sense to me. When you see the stop sign, you stop.
Exactly.
When you see the red light, you stop. And you may even stop when it turns yellow, because yellow means what?
That means clear the intersection.
Clear the intersection.
It does
clear the intersection.
It does not mean enter the intersection. That is not what yellow means.
Ah, gosh, where were you been at our whole lives? Show me another video.
Yeah, let's look at another one.
Oh, deer crossing. Watch out for the deer blinds.
No, what this one is so often we get in a hurry in these curves and on-ramps and stuff. This one shows the driver doing it right because there was a posted speed limit sign 25 miles an hour before we went into this, and the driver is well underneath that. The curve is tightening up, and so, we got to make sure we're doing the right speed when we go in there. If a gust of wind catches you, it just amplifies the possibility of being blown over. And so, great job here by this driver of watching the speed and having it right for the situation.
And also, there is a sign indicating possible rollover as you move into the tunnel, demonstrating the danger of this particular curve and how sharp it is on a 180-degree spin and how hard it can be and how much it is important to make sure you stay in control.
Yeah, we love the fact that you respect the sign. You followed the sign. You didn't take it as a challenge that I can go faster than that. Oh, I did it in 30. Why do they got 20 there for?
Yeah.
That's not what it's for. We encourage you to make sure that you follow the the signs that you see out there.
It's not a recommendation.
Remember that. It's not recommended. Yes,
salt, maybe. Salt, no. It's not a recommendation.
Next video.
This is a lot of the same thing. We're on a rural 2-lane road here. The driver's really got the speed down control. We're in some curves. There's not a lot of shoulder space and everything. And so just really like this video. Drivers going the right speed for it. Probably in an unfamiliar territory. Just a great job here.
Agree. There's nothing but beauty was what we see here.
That's
beauty,
serpentine.
Beauty.
I'll tell you, when you're driving these serpentine roads with a truck, you have to be very careful because people pull out, come around, they're passing, they're doing things where you can't see behind the blind curves. Very important that you maintain a good and decent speed on these curves. Not only do you want to protect yourself from possible rollover or loss of control, but you also want to make sure that you can stop in plenty of time in all instances, especially when it comes to people pulling out and or passing coming in the other direction.
Great stuff there. And this last one, again, we always talk about it as road conditions change, weather conditions change, lighting changes. We have to adjust our speeds to it. We have to adjust our speed and space, and the driver has done just that here. And we're on an interstate here, and so the speed limit's probably posted at 70, and he's running about 45 to 50. So just a great job of slowing down, taking, you know, the conditions around you into consideration and making those adjustments. Super job here.
I agree, and even on this serpentine road, we see the driver continues to follow
It's straight. Well, I mean, you do realize this is a straight road, right?
Well, what serpentine is what snake-like, right?
Yeah. How
okay, you've never seen a snake straight?
No, they don't move in a straight line, do they?
What if they're just sitting there, though?
Have you seen a snake move?
A snake?
Have you seen a snake?
Did you say snake?
Yeah, I've seen a straight snake when they're hanging from a peg or something.
Yeah,
so,
a dead snake. But most of the time, snakes will move in a serpentine manner, in a winding manner, unless it's a sidewinder, and then it moves sideways.
Those are good videos.
No, by the way, that video. Hey, look, let's talk about that video for a second. Put it back up, and I wanted, and I know we were joking about it, but as we're going to continue to see these types of conditions incur more over this month and next month, we're going to see snow coming down. We're going to see inclement weather, and it will have a great impact on your ability to drive out there on the road. You've got to make sure that you adjust. And what the safety guy was saying is that this driver did do just that, adjusted his speed. You'll notice also this will affect your ability to see long distance. It will play tricks on you as the light from the high beams will reflect off of the snow, making it even harder to see and or make out patterns in the road. So you've got to be very careful, as it'll play a trick on you, and make sure that you can do whatever it is you can do to be safe and slow down and give yourself a chance of success in these types of weather conditions.
You know, and that driving in snow, especially at night, I mean, you get snow blind and you start seeing and get fatigued, and your eyes start, like you said, start playing tricks. And so, you know, after you've been after it for a while, you know, if you need to pull over, take a break, and rest your eyes a little bit, always a good idea.
Good stuff, and great advice from the two of you. We have any callers up here? Anybody want a dedication, question, comment? Anybody need any motivation from Safety or Drive Safe Dave, myself included? It's
now,
free today. Otherwise, there will be a 900 number out there you'll have to call.
It's a pretty quiet day. It's like
that means we answered all the questions, folks.
Oh wait! Someone has their hand raised. Mike Campbell.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mr. Campbell.
Morning.
Good morning.
How can we help you this morning?
I know that I've driven on lots of snow and ice through the years, and used to years ago you had to. You didn't have a choice about it. But these Volvos that we have now, they're the worst handling truck I've ever had on ice. So if it gets a little bit icy, the best thing you can do with these trucks is just park it.
I like your advice. Anytime you're on ice, we encourage you to pull over and do that. We want to make sure you do that. Anyway, thank you for that, Mr. Campbell, and Drive Safe Dave. It's, that ice is just something, especially, you have folks like Mike that have a lot of experience driving in that. As we continue to bring on the new drivers into our market, right? More, younger drivers, even drivers for the first time, as we're 80,000 drivers short, we're going out there, we're doing a lot of training. They do not have that experience on snow and ice.
No, and I'll tell you, probably the most difficult thing to drive on with any effectiveness or any control is ice. I mean, snow, you drive slower, you have some control, you have some friction.
Let me ask a question then for you. You have you driven on ice?
Absolutely.
So what would, how would and Mr. Campbell talks about a Volvo, so why would a Volvo drive worse on ice than, say, a Peterbilt? What does that even mean?
Well, I will tell you that in some instances it just depends on what Mike's talking about, the feel, and I can go back to experiences that I've had in other trucks. You get used to their feel, and you get used to the way they handle on ice, or they handle in particularly, and as these new vehicles come out, they just feel different, right? They have a different feel to them, and they don't handle the same. Gotcha. I would typically say, and if it doesn't feel good to you, then it doesn't handle well.
Amen.
And I'm just telling you that.
Therefore, making it unsafe.
Therefore, making it unsafe. Absolutely. You got to look at how. I think it has
a lot to do with the new suspensions that we have today, and then these Volvos with the big cabs and everything are a lot more top heavy than the older trucks were.
Yeah. Well, with They want more top heavy. I mean, you know, as you look out, and I will tell you that a little bit difference in the Volvos and the ones you're talking about and some of the trucks out there today. Now, these Volvos, they have an all-steel body. They're not fiberglass, which makes them somewhat heavier, as they're not a fiberglass casing. They're actually an all-steel casing that surrounds the cab, which makes them a little bit heavier, especially on the top end of the cab, because that's pure metal up there. That's no longer fiberglass. And when you get to some of these older trucks or some of these trucks that have the other high trucks, they're fiberglass up there, which makes them a little bit lighter on the top end of the tractor. So you're going to find that sluggish feel that you're talking about when you talk about how they react. Also, the new sway bars that they have built now that allow for the truck not to bend in the curve, but settle into the curve. It's going to be a different feel to you in when you go around a curve. They have that new style sway, those international sways that go in there that aren't the old riggings and the old front end suspensions. And you are right, they do have a little bit different, but they're actually a little bit safer because they don't allow the cab to lean like the old trucks do. They actually kind of squat and go over. So there's a couple of different aspects to the new rigs that make them a little bit different in the way they feel and how they react out there on the road.
Yeah, but sometimes different, though.
It makes it feel uncomfortable.
Yes, and if you feel uncomfortable out there on the road, we're going to encourage you to pull over, call your dispatcher because you don't feel safe. And if you don't feel safe out there driving, odds are you're not going to be safe.
No.
So we want to make sure that you do that part right there. And I'll go into, as we continue to improve on technology, man, I would, everything being equal, right? And the only thing that's not equal is every driver's not equal. We all drive a truck a little different.
Correct.
But when a truck is made and created, and when they do it on the test, the way it drives, I would say in general, it should be a safer truck in general and about everything. I mean, it's just technology, and what they're trying to do is make it safer and everything. However, you drive that truck a little different than the machine drives it, and you may not feel comfortable with it in that area. And again, I'm going to say that makes it uncomfortable, and that alone is unsafe, and we don't want you out there driving when you're unsafe. Drive safe. Dave, you want to close us out with a prayer?
Yeah, dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to say thank you for today. Father, we come to you and ask for your grace in all things, and we ask that you help us be better today than we were yesterday. Father, give us the strength and the courage today to go out and do your will upon the world as you see it. Father, we also ask that you give us the ability to be safer today than we have ever been. Give us that encouragement to go out and find ways to make it better for ourselves and those around us as we do what we must to be safe on the road. Father, we ask for your help in safety. We ask for your encouragement in safety, and we ask for your help today in doing that as well. Father, we ask all these things in your name. We pray. Amen.
Amen. Before we close this out, Drive Safe Dave Dale, so we had the Thanksgiving dinner, dinner lunch-ish, I guess, at 2 o'clock. Father-in-law, Coy, goes and says a prayer, and let me tell you, Coy knows how to say a prayer, and but you're hungry, and when you got your father-in-law up there saying the prayer, you know how those are. Drive Safe Dave. You're like, oh, come on already.
The biscuits are warm now. Are warm right now. They won't be warm in a minute. I want them to melt the butter.
Oh, but an amazing prayer, Coy, if you're watching this show. But we were hungry, and me and Katie looked at each other a couple times. She's sitting next to me like, oh, come on now. We're ready to eat. We're hungry. Biscuits are getting cold.
Yeah.
We'll see you this afternoon on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.